I'm going to show you that we don't need to abandon our humanity just to use ChatGPT. Like any tool, it can be used for good or ill. And if you want to form connections with real people and not just bots online, please put the word human in the chat. This lets me know that it's humans watching my live stream and not bots pretending to be human. You may have noticed that I'm mixing more videos I shoot with my phone outside and pictures of my family into my content. It's not because I want to, it's because I have to. As technology changes, the way we prove our humanity changes. And I want to show that I care about your humanity as much as my own. Instead of asking you to buy my bestseller ChatGPT profits, I'm going to do something different. Something, well, some might say it's a little bit crazy, but I want to reward you for being here. If you put the word human in the chat, I'll send you a link to where you can download the entire unabridged, unaltered book completely free. You don't have to pay me a penny. Just by being here, you're giving me your time, which is worth so much more. I want to appreciate you and connect with you in a real way. I do love your comments, and I promise I will respond to all comments and questions at the end. But for now, let's just dive straight into it. There are three things that people do with ChatGPT and other AI tools that are erasing their humanity. It's burning their relationship with their audience, and they haven't even realized it yet. And I don't want that to happen to you. Number one, they put quantity over quality. Number two, they're trying to replace themselves with AI. Number three, they post AI generated content without looking at it or even reading it. If you've been if you've been on the receiving end of this, let me know by putting the word human in the chat. If you saw something in your feed today or this week that was clearly AI generated, let me know. Just putting your comment in the chat, that lets me know that I'm doing the right thing, that I'm going in the right direction, that we're reading from the same music, that I'm not the only one seeing this, because this morning I woke up and looked at my feed and none of the content felt very human. I saw three Dolly images in a row and then a bunch of reposts and posts with thousands of comments that all looked like they were written by bots. I love AI, and this doesn't get me excited. It makes me feel down. When I first check my notifications on LinkedIn in the morning, I'm looking for content to leave comments on. I'm looking for anything that was written by a real person who will read my comment. And I struggle to find it. Let's talk about problem number one. They pursue quantity over quality. I understand that sometimes quantity has a power in and of itself, but when it comes to my feed, well, seeing a bunch of content from someone who clearly didn't write it isn't one of those times. The more pseudo content I see from someone, the more annoying I find it. There are some people I just can't get out of my feed, and it's actually increasing my ill will toward them. The opposite of the desired effect. We've all heard some version of people need to see 7 commercials before they remember your brand, or it takes 17 touches to make the sale. These statements might be true, but they depend on one thing: quality content. The desire to put out more content faster, I get it. I find it really hard to think of an idea, make a video, and get it online on LinkedIn, let alone all my other social channels. My last video took me a week to put together, and I didn't do that well. It's easy to be demotivated when you have something nobody watches. So you say, oh, if only 10 people will watch each video, I could put 100 videos out a day and get 1,000 views I was praying for. I can get the views I want with just a lot of content, but that's the wrong move. Quality always rises to the top, even if it takes a little bit longer, because when it gets there, it lasts longer too. I spent 20 minutes choosing what shirt to wear for this video. I have the exact same shirt in a dozen different colors. If you follow me, and I hope that you do, you'll notice that I'm either wearing a polo exactly like this one or a black v-neck. I think shirt I think this shirt is the best blue for my eyes. And if you appreciate the effort I put into giving you a great experience, just put the word human in the chat. It lets me know that you're listening, and I'll send you a free copy of my bestseller, ChatGPT Profits, to show you the right way to use ChatGPT to grow your business. The right way. That brings me to problem number two. They're trying to replace themselves with AI. If you've ever seen those Fast and Furious movies, and I think everyone in the world has seen at least one of them by now, well, they have this special switch in the car that says NOS. They pronounce it NOS. It stands for nitrous oxide. When you hit the button, it pumps a gas into the engine that makes the car go super fast, and usually really cool flames shoot right out the back of the car. I don't know how accurate that is because I've never been in a car with that button. Otherwise, I would have definitely pushed it. Here's what I do know: that NOS doesn't work if there's no gas in the engine. It's not a replacement for gas, it enhances it. Chat GPT is a tool. I have a hammer in my workshop right now, sitting on the table. It is worthless. It doesn't do anything until I pick it up and use it. Chat GPT is designed to put you into management. When it writes my podcast, when it writes my podcast episode description, I'm still responsible for the output. You need to use this tool with the correct mindset. It's not a calculator. Every time you ask the same question, you get a slightly different answer, just like with a real employee. When you hire an employee and never check their output, what happens? Maybe you've done the same thing. What do you do when you realize that your boss never checks your reports? I know you don't want to put the real answer in the chat. I understand that. I get it. Just put the word human so that I know you know that I know that you know what I'm talking about. I need to know that you're picking up what I'm putting down. This leads me to the third and most dangerous of mistakes: posting AI generated content without looking at it or reading it. In the news this week, a big company called Dynamic Parcel Distribution had to deactivate their chatbot when it cursed at a customer and wrote a mean poem. This is what happens when you let an AI represent your brand without paying attention. It always ends up in the news like this. If you don't read the content that has your name under it, why should I? It demonstrates more than laziness, it's a lack of respect. My time is worth something that not only you didn't write, you didn't read yourself. Do you want your potential customers, clients, or even worse, employers feeling this way about you? That you think your time is more valuable than theirs? And there's an even worse possibility. Allow me to share a story. The first time you meet someone, you tell a joke, but they don't know it's a joke. So you have to stick with a joke that is now turned into a lie. You fall in love and start a relationship. Beautiful. One day they find out the truth about that very first meeting. How are they going to feel? Oh, what a cute story. I don't think so. They are going to be mad and possibly end the relationship right then and there. That's how your followers will feel if they actually fall for your AI generated content. Then they meet you in person and they ask about a post you have no memory of writing because you didn't. They're going to be more than disappointed. They will feel tricked. And how do we feel when people trick us? Do we want to do business with them, hire them, work with them, date them? No, we want revenge. Instead of a neutral feeling, you can implant a very negative feeling towards you in a potential business contact. Don't publish, post, or send out anything that you haven't read and looked at first. I'm so tired of reading the same post and seeing the same lazy AI generated images that look like clip art. I want to be able to comment on every post in my feed when I wake up. So please, please treat your content with the same respect that you want me to show you. And this is really important. It's why in my book, ChatGPT Profits, I always put any text from ChatGPT into italics. I want to leave no room for confusion. I don't want to turn a single reader against me. I hope you guys found this useful. Let me check the chat and answer any questions that may have come in. And everyone who said human in the chat, I will send you your copy of ChatGPT Profits today, shortly after we finish in a few minutes. I promise. All right, I see a couple of questions. Let me answer the first one. Jennifer said, I don't have time to post every day without ChatGPT helping me. This is a great comment because it's honest, Jennifer, and I respect that. It's really important. So, the right answer is to post as much content as you can authentically. So, whatever you can manage frequency wise. So, if you can't do every day, that's fine. I would rather you post one great thing a week than seven okay things. Because think about the impression that makes. Sure, I see you less, but every time I see you, you shine like a star. That's going to make a really big difference. And that's going to get a lot more attention. We're seeing a lot about this online right now. There's been a couple of really interesting case studies recently that showed focusing on the right niche, being more laser targeted, having a smaller audience, but the right audience is actually far more profitable. A really interesting influencer study came out earlier today about how much money influencers make based on their audience size, and it's a lot less than I thought it was because general audiences are not valuable. It's about having the right audience. So the right people will respond to your content, even if you're not posting all the time, because it's authentic and real. They'll be able to connect with you as a real person. Thomas said, I don't know how to get really good content from AI. This is a great question. So this is normal. I got into a fight with ChatGPT last week. Then I got mad at it last night twice, just writing show notes for my podcast because it would do great show notes, and then just something terrible. And so I'd have to keep restarting the conversation to get the content I want. So it's still a tool. You still have to work with it. It doesn't work perfect every time. Please take the free copy of ChatGPT Profits. That's going to guide you through that. Make sure you're following me because I post a lot of trainings on my live streams. I talk theory and stuff. I'm thinking about, and you guys can let me know if this is something that interests you, doing live demonstrations and live trainings during my live streams. If that interests you, I've kind of set up the tech. I finally figured out how to actually share my screen and do some cool stuff. If that interests you, please let me know. Your interaction will kind of help me decide what kind of content I do in the future. But it's just like any other tool, it takes time to learn, right? The first time I picked up a hammer, I didn't use it, right? I hit myself right on the thumb. Kirsten said, this is why I hate AI in the first place. Yeah, a lot of people are turning against AI because everything they see from it's bad. If all we see is the worst examples of something, then of course our feelings for it are going to be negative. This is a legitimate way to feel. And this is exactly why I'm trying to make a difference. Listen, it doesn't dramatically affect my business, what appears in my LinkedIn feed, right? Because it's my content that makes a difference. And my content's not AI generated, it comes from the heart. I put a lot of effort and a lot of thought into it. Every image I make myself, I don't have some thumbnail designer, it's me. But I want my feed to be better and more interesting, and it's going to help you a lot. So even though you're seeing a lot of bad examples, it doesn't mean the tool is bad. It just means you're seeing the worst examples of it. You should never judge your group or a tool by the worst use cases. This is a great question. I understand how you feel. This is exactly what I'm talking about. I don't want people to feel the way you do. Now, please, guys, make sure you follow me, subscribe to my newsletters for easy to digest and implementable content throughout the week. AI doesn't have to be hard or scary. I put out a lot of content that's designed to be useful. I will be live again next week, so make sure you follow me to get that notification. Thank you guys so much for being here. This has been absolutely amazing. I appreciate those of you who have been active in the comments. And even if you're watching the replay and the recording a little bit later because you're busy, I promise I do check every comment throughout the week. I have my notifications turned on and I will respond to you. And if you want to DM me directly, go ahead. I love talking to you guys.